Warning, spoiler alert, 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 caution. The majority of this list will be food. Hi. I love watching people's favorites videos. I find them endlessly fascinating. And I don't know if you will necessarily enjoy hearing my favorite things. I know I'm like irrelevant and absolutely uninteresting. I am selling this video so well. However, I am confident that you will love at least one of these things on this list. Also, I know my background is a bit odd. I'm gonna be throwing up the items I am talking about. I want to have a little thing to put them in. I'm gonna split this up into categories: music, movies, shows, like one category, entertainment, I guess it could be called, beauty items, food. I am gonna start with the foodies. I am a Trader Joe's whore. A lot of my favorite food items are from Trader Joe's. Number one, my kryptonite, brownie coffee ice cream sandwiches. I will say, if you do not enjoy coffee ice cream, if it's just, oh yeah, meh to you, you won't like this. This is strong coffee flavored ice cream. The brownie part of the sandwich has chocolate chips in it as well. I'm going to be really vulnerable and open and honest. There was a day this year, a long day, a hard day, a bad day, where I ate the entire box. There's four in a box. And so I don't even know. They're not giant. I would assume everywhere else in the world this is a normal portion size, but for Americans listening, this is a smaller little thing. That's me justifying woofing this entire box of brownie ice cream sandwiches. On the topic of coffee, Trader Joe's K-Cups, just the regular, I think it's like a medium roast K-Cup, so good. Number three, the Trader Joe's spicy noodles. These are better than the Balduc noodles. They aren't as spicy as the Balduc noodles, but flavor-wise, they are a lot more complex. Is that too like Food Network-y of a word to use? The Trader Joe's noodles have like a sesame paste packet as well as a flavoring packet. If you do try these, the sesame paste is kind of annoying. I just like squeeze a little bit with like a butter knife and then just dab it in. I don't use the entire packet. Anything sesame is very overwhelming. I don't think you need this entire packet thing, but you do you. I do like the black and the red noodles. I can't remember which one, but I think the black is a little bit spicier. I may be wrong on that. Finally, from Trader Joe's, and this certainly won't appeal to everybody, but they have jalapeno and garlic stuffed green olives. Not for date night. This isn't you're gonna snack on these and then go kiss someone cute. No. Maybe if you brush, floss, and get an Altoid. But if you like that combination of flavors, you will be in heaven. As far as drinks go, I've had the same order at Starbucks for years, but it is one of my favorites every year, including this one. A venti brown sugar oat milk shaken espresso with light ice. Sometimes I'll switch it up and get a Trenta strawberry acai lemonade refresher as well, with light ice. Other than Starbucks and water, because I drink a lot of water, Dr. Pepper Zero, life-changing for me. Even more life-changing was the Monster Zero Sugar drink. I like the white and light blue one, the no flavor, original flavored one. That goblin juice gives me legitimate, like, heart palpitations. Every time I hear my heart skipping a few beats, I'm like, yes, that is the stuff. Perfect. Bathe me in it. Intravenous. I've got two restaurants to talk about. I do eat out quite a lot, but I am someone who does not like change. When I find a place that's spectacular for whatever type of food I'm looking for, then I am done looking. I don't need to find anything else. I don't care about the new spot that opened up. I don't care about any of it. My place is my place. I have my burrito spot. I have my Italian food spot, my favorite fancy spot. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I am obsessed, disgustingly obsessed with Dave's Hot Chicken. Dave's Hot Chicken serves chicken in various forms and fashions. There's also a vegetarian option now, which is awesome. You get to the counter, you select what you want, whether you want a tender, a sandwich, whatever, and then you get to select the level of heat you want. The levels of heat are great because there's a lot of levels to it. There's no spice, there's mild, there's hot, there's extra hot, there's like super hot and Reaper. I get a tender and a sandwich. I'll get an extra hot or a ghost on the sandwich and then just a regular hot on the tender. And most importantly, the chocolate shake. You need the chocolate shake. Their shakes are a bit weird though. The chocolate shake is like vanilla vanilla with a thimble of chocolate, if that makes sense. But it does the job just fine. These stores are popping up everywhere. I hear all the time from people all over the country that new ones are springing up in their neighborhood. Lots and lots of new ones. Please have patience with the new crews. The next and final restaurant is the Friendly Toast. I don't know if this is just a local chain in New England, but if you have one even remotely close to you, make the trip. The interior of that place is everything I strive for in the interior of my home. The waiters can wear whatever they want. I've seen them in sweats, leggings, big t-shirts. I love that. And all the servers I've had have been absolutely amazing and so cool. The menu is like funky gourmet breakfast slash brunch. I get the chicken and waffles every time, so I can't speak on anything else on the menu, but the whole menu sounds amazing. It's just like I said, once I find something that I like, I don't really switch it up. They also have flights of adult beverages. I believe they have like a coffee one. I had a mimosa one. It was very enjoyable. Red lipstick and talking, not a great combination. I'm sorry if I get all Chelsea grin on you. I should have learned my lesson. I've done this before, but here we are. The final items I have for my foods category are for those of you 21 and over only. We are starting with the numero uno favorite item for 2024 overall, and that is Marma's gummies. I have no idea if these are sold outside my local dispensary. I know it's a chain, it's Mission Dispensary. They are fat and sweet and actually taste like candy and don't have that metallic taste to them. And they hit hard. There are a ton of different flavors. I get 3 bags at a time and mix it up. I usually go for the 1-to-1 peach, but more recently I've been getting the newer grapefruit flavor, which is a 1-to-1-to-1. Now, I don't even know what that last one is, but I like it. Next up for the adults is Teremana Tequila. I don't drink a lot, but when I do drink, it is almost certainly going to be tequila. Margaritaville is my home base when I'm drinking the devil's juice. This is the best tequila I have ever had. I could drink this bitch with a straw right out of the bottle. It is so smooth and I don't have that gross, nasty tequila hangover the next day. I've tried the clear one and I've tried the more golden one. I'll be honest, I don't know what the difference is. They taste exactly the same, but I know they're both delicious. The final entry for the adults for the food is a more recent discovery, but I am a fiend. I am a hound dog. I need to readjust for this one. I went to Bahama Breeze, a restaurant that I have loved for years and years and years, but I, like I said, don't really drink that much, so I never thought to get a drink here. But this time around, I got the Bahama Rita alone. Amazing, delicious, highly recommend. So good. But what blew my mind, bazooka to the cranium, was this cute little shot they give you of something called cactus juice. I practically pulled this waitress back by her throat to tell me what magic was sprinkled into this cactus juice. She wasn't really sure. I didn't actually obviously get aggressive. But anyways, it was the end of the night. They were about to close up. I wasn't gonna have her bother the bartender or whomever. That was fine. I have the Googler. I can find out for myself. So I thought. Anyway, that didn't quite work out for me. I found out it's like a schnapps. I also found out that prickly pear syrup could do the job. I'm hardly ever in a liquor store, and I was in 5 within 48 hours trying to find anything close to cactus juice. I tried the syrup. It was a bust. The schnapps are sold nowhere near me, and happy ending though. I went back to Bahama Breeze the other night, reordered the Bahama Rita, of course, and thinking that the cactus juice was like a schnapps, something you just pour out of the bottle, I asked the waitress, hey, really weird question. Can I buy a bottle of this? She was super sweet about it. Talked to the manager. They said, no, but got me the recipe. It's triple sec and lime juice. I haven't tried it yet in my home, but I am most certainly going to try it out and see if my drunkard dark passenger thirst is quenched properly by it. I have so many things and I yap so much. Okay, I'm gonna try and blow through these faster so you're not here until 2026. But was a good joke. On to beauty, silk scrunchies, no particular brand. They are just so much better for your hair. Silk pillowcases too, if you can do that, that's amazing for your hair and your skin. Highly recommend. It's a very small change that gives you very big improvements. Ren Sensitive Skin Exfoliant. This stuff is magique. It can be used on any skin type, even if you're not sensitive. I've used this before on clients before applying their moisturizer and makeup, and there is such a big difference just from one use. I I always say if you're not exfoliating and you're not wearing sunscreen, you are wasting your money on all the other skincare that you're buying. Exfoliating isn't always pleasant. A lot of exfoliants have those beads. I'm not a big fan of those. They cause like micro tears in the skin. They can also cause a lot of redness. I much prefer chemical exfoliants. I know that sounds like a lot scarier than physical exfoliant, but they are very good. This exfoliant specifically is the most gentle I've ever experienced. I've gone through probably 2 bottles now, almost on my 3rd. It does have that tingle, but it is so subtle, but I kind of like that because it lets you know it's working. It's not intense though. It's not like Seabreeze. Do you remember Seabreeze? Trauma. My dad, my darling father, had like a wholesale jug of this. Like you'd get like a big vegetable oil. He had Seabreeze and he'd keep it under the bathroom sink and encourage me to burn the layers of my preteen skin off with this poison. The smell of Seabreeze could wake me from the dead. Skin Fix, the body cream, and the body wash. This might be my most used beauty product ever. I started using these years ago, but kind of fell off of it until recently I saw they were at Marshall's. Double clearance, sealed shut. Like, couldn't ask for anything better really at Marshall's. Such a rare find. A beauty product that doesn't have snots on it. Every time I would see these, clearanced or not, just as long as they were sealed, I would buy them. And now I have an arsenal. The body wash alone is unbelievable, especially if you have those like chicken bumps, the red bumps on your arms and legs. But you leave it on for a bit, you jump in the shower, you wash it off, you get out of the shower, you put your body cream on. I only use the wash and the cream maybe like twice a week now because I'm happy with where my skin's at. But when I first started using it, it was like 3 or 4 times a week. On those other days of the week, I was using, drumroll, another Trader Joe's product. I completely forgot the name of this and I didn't write it down. Whatever, you can see it. I know what I'm talking about. Now you know what I'm talking about. This is the thing. Listen to me. Pull me in close and hear what I'm saying to you. As someone who has owned multiple Sol de Janeiro Bum Bum creams, I am telling you, these smell exactly the same for a fraction of the price. The Sol de Janeiro one is a lot smoother. It dries down a lot faster. Both are really great, but if you're looking for the Bum Bum cream formula and smell, you may not be happy with the Trader Joe's one. But if all you care about is smelling like a sweet, sexy, sun-kissed mermaid that's flopping around on the beach, Trader Joe's all the way. Save yourself some money. Dr. Teal's Lavender Sleep Oil. This is great. I like to lather this on before bed. It is the best smell. The oil dries down fast. It leaves my skin feeling silky smooth. The scent reminds me a lot of the aromatherapy line from Bath and Body Works. My favorite thing to do is like lathering up my feet heavily with oil and then putting on fuzzy socks for like a little foot mask situation. It is just as relaxing as it is moisturizing. The Intuition razor with the sensitive blade thingy. I have been looking at these razors for the longest time. I think since they first launched with that Jewel theme song. And I always thought to myself, what the hell is a teeny tiny little blade shoved between 2 bars of soap going to do for me? It will remove next to nothing. But for some reason, I decided to try it one day and I was pleasantly surprised. It shaves beautifully. Stunningly. It definitely gets the job done. Somehow, that tiny little blade shoved between the 2 massive bars of soap took out a chunk of my nail bed. Don't know how it happened, but it happened and it was a little painful, but I can confirm that the blade works and it is sharp. The obvious downside is that it's a behemoth and it is not very flexible. Give face oil. I know oil primers are not up everyone's alley. I get that. This facial oil primer situation though, best oil I have ever used. Just incredible. My skin felt so silky and delicious and prepared for makeup. Sometimes I wouldn't even wear makeup. I'd just put it on in the morning. It smells incredible. It's like powdery. I know, again, that's not up everyone's alley. I might be describing hell for you with this oil, but I love me a powdery smell. I am a perfume hoarder. I am embarrassed to even admit how many perfumes I own. They are my favorite thing to splurge on. I have just about every Chanel fragrance. I have Dior, Valentino. There are so many perfumes that I love, but my number one, my all-time favorite, my signature, my white whale, my twin flame perfume is Alien by Mugler. I started wearing this fragrance years ago. It feels like it was crafted for me. I do want to say, for those of you that have never smelled this before, this is not for the faint of heart. This is a very strong, very unique smell. It has jasmine and amber, but that really doesn't even scratch the surface. I wouldn't even know how to describe it. Like cosmic dust. The name Alien is perfect. As always with perfume, you definitely have to try it on your skin, see how it reacts with your body chemistry. I learned this the hard way many, many moons ago. I think I was like 18, maybe 19 years old. This girl I was in school with, she smelled amazing. She was wearing Dolce & Gabbana light blue. I went out and bought that bottle blind, the big bottle, the juicy size, not the travel size. I was so ready to go home, spritz myself in it, and smell like I just took a very expensive shower, when in reality, I smelled like mothballs. Light blue, devastatingly, does not work on my skin. But you live and you learn. Like I said, I love to splurge on perfume. I think this is one of the rare instances where you do get what you pay for. For me personally, I can tell cheap perfume. It's got that like, I can only explain it like how aspartame tastes. I feel like cheap perfume has that kind of vibe with smell. That makes no sense. That being said, Into the Night from Bath and Body Works, I have the candle, the spray, the body wash. This scent should be $125 and sold at Dillard's. The scent is dark and fruity and ambery and sexy. It reminds me a lot of the Yves Saint Laurent Mon Paris fragrance. It's by no means a dupe, but it's like in that family of smell. A lot of the same notes in both of them at different concentrations, I'm sure, and they don't have the exact same smell, but they're like sister fragrances. We are trudging through. We are moving on to the entertainment, the books, movies, shows. I don't think I read any books this year that I was like blown away by. So no favorites in the books department. I also don't watch a lot of TV. I watch like The Office reruns usually, but I haven't watched that in maybe like a year now. I do watch a lot of YouTube though, and it's a very bizarre mix that I watch, that's for sure. It starts with Pat McAfee, who I just started watching this year. I am a big sports fan, specifically football, and the boys are just so relatable and cool and not like douchey. Sorry if that's like a harsh word to use, but you know how it is. A lot of sports commentary is so pretentious, a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking to the nth degree. But on Pat McAfee, they're like making fart jokes, and it's just very heartwarming. That's what I'll say. And I really appreciate Boston Connor's representation. He does his absolute best to keep the Patriots in the discussion, even when we're not at our best right now. I also watch a lovely lady named Charlotte, who is an astrologer, and she does a lot of astrological readings for celebrities or whoever is big in pop culture at the time. She is made to be a YouTuber. She is so charming, so smart, funny, personable, conversational, everything you need to be a YouTube star. She seems like such a lovely soul, and when it comes to her readings, I have never heard analysis done like she does it. She uses analogies that instantly click for me, and she doesn't sound like the astrological section in a Cosmo magazine where they give you like blanket statements that are just word salad. She feels like my friend when I'm watching her videos, and I'm sure many people feel the same way. That is why she is gaining subscribers like crazy. Much deserved. Love her. My next one is very controversial, and I totally understand why. I know many people strongly dislike Wendy Williams, but personally, I think of her as like baddie Aunt Wendy. I certainly do not agree with some of the things Wendy said. In fact, I do cringe quite frequently when certain things come out of her mouth. But that's just what it was. I felt comforted by the big purple chair, and it's so sad watching her decline. I know that some people say karma, and that's fair. That's totally valid. I don't like seeing anyone go through that. It's terrible. Wendy is a living, breathing meme. Whether you love her or hate her, you know she's entertaining, for better or worse.
Clap if you've ever wanted to kill somebody. She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
Oh, she passed away? Oh. All right, that's what she said. And you know what? What was that? Okay.
Yup. Clap if you care. All right, let's move on. Perfect. Now, here I am. Here we are. Yes, another week. Clap if you have anxiety.
Shout out to everybody with social anxiety. I kind of feel sorry for you. Hell yeah. What am I gonna wear? How am I gonna walk? What wig should I wear? How am I gonna act? Am I gonna cry? I can't. Get out.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Who here loves Sierra? Clap. Then why don't you buy her music?
Keep your wig on.
I am a little bummed that we'll never get hot topics from her, most likely ever again, but I'm glad she's doing what she needs to do to get better. In the meantime, I have found a channel that uploads all of her episodes. It's called The Wendy Archive. They do such a great job. I probably watch at least one of those episodes daily, if not more. Usually more, but at least one every day. For the last of the YouTubes section, I know I'm late to this party, but The Bald and the Beautiful. I have never seen an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race ever. I know some of the drag queens, of course, because they have transcended RuPaul's Drag Race. And I first heard of Trixie Mattel because of her makeup brand. That was my introduction to her. One day I was doom scrolling YouTube shorts until I got a breath of fresh air that was Trixie Mattel. I watched a ton more of the clips, and then obviously that moved me onto the podcast, and I've been obsessed ever since. I have been bulldozing through these episodes. I love them so much. They are hysterical. Their chemistry is crazy. It's a really good pick-me-up podcast. I was listening to a lot of news-related podcasts, which can be very depressing, and I needed this. If you aren't into dark humor or sexual jokes, this might not be the podcast for you. It might be a bit jarring. Out of the few regular shows I have watched this year, I'm a huge Fallout 4 nerd. I was losing my shit with all the sneak peeks of the vaults and the outfits. I was losing it. I was so ready for that show to come out. It did not disappoint. It was better than I ever could have imagined. Walton Goggins, a legend, one of my favorite actors. The Boys is also up there for me. Another dark show, but really, really funny, and sadly really timely. I did a really intense rewatch of Dexter. I love that show. It did kind of go downhill after the Trinity Killer season, but still very good. I also rewatched New Blood, and now I'm watching the prequel. I started last week, and it's already one of my favorites for the year. After I saw the intro, show me no more. Say no more. I'm in. Kind of random, but the actor that's playing Batista, I thought that was CGI. I have to look away when he's on screen because it is so creepily similar. They look identical. Now let's get to the movies. I don't have many, but number one is easily Terrifier 3. Everyone asked me, does it up the ante? Did they outdo the bedroom scene? Literally every person I talked to that had not seen it yet. And I am happy to report that Terrifier 3 makes the bedroom scene look like Sesame Street. This movie was absolutely outrageous. I loved every second of it. It was just as gory and gross as it was hilarious. Civil War, one of the most moving films I have ever seen, also has some of the best acting I've ever seen in a film. If you think that Terrifier 3 is horror, Civil War, this is some real scary shit. This is looking into the future. Not even the distant future. This could be nonfiction by the time your leg hair grows back. Now for the music. This year has definitely been a quality over quantity kind of year. Lots of my favorite artists and bands released new music, but I was not jiving with all of it. But the music that has come out this year, the albums that have been released, they have become all-time favorites of mine. Brat, everyone knows and loves Brat. I'm sure it's becoming obnoxious now after Brat Girl Summer. Brat Girl Summer? Brat Summer? Brat Summer. Brat Girl Summer. I have not been on TikTok in ages, so I wasn't fully immersed in the Brat summer of it all. But the fact that it crept its way into American politics.
You'll make sense to get with context. 666 with Princess Street, pulling throughout. So Julia, appalling that you live in what came to me.
Very American of us. I think that album is revolutionary. Charlie's Best, easily. I think it's going to change the sound of pop for a long time to come. State Champs, they're self-titled. I dare I say, their best album they've ever put out, and that's difficult for me to say. They are a pop punk band, if you did not know. The last 2 albums they've put out and a couple of thingies they've dropped since, I haven't been feeling too much. But this album, though, from top to bottom, perfection. This is State Champs at their very best. I have 2 favorite songs of the year, and one of them is off of this album. It's called I Still Want To. I'm not like a big-brained music person, so I don't know if I'm like explaining things well or right or in a Fantano kind of way. That's not really, I'm not smart enough for all that. This is a perfect song. A perfect song. Tied for that number 1 spot is from the next band I'm going to talk about. And I'll get to the song, but let me get to the band first. The Story So Far. They are my number 1 favorite band right now. They're another pop punk band. I'm a big fan. And this year they released I Want to Disappear after years and years of waiting, and it was worth the wait. My entire Spotify Wrapped is basically this album. Letterman, not my personal favorite, believe it or not. It's a great song, one of my favorites, but it was my number 1 most played, mostly because it was released as a single before the full album dropped, and my favorite song, Jump the Gun, is not a single. Again, I'm not a big-brained music person, so I don't know like what certain parts of the song are called or what certain things are called within the song. I just know it fucking slaps. This song perfectly represents my view, my take on pop punk. This is the perfect representation of that. Obviously, pop punk as a genre is so diverse and changing, and it's totally different depending on who you ask. But for me, this song is it. Now, the album as a whole, it's so raw and real. I don't know Parker Cannon as a human. I just know him as an artist and a vocalist, and he's very talented. And I could be so wrong. I could be way off here and projecting. This album was written, if I'm not mistaken, while his father was suffering from cancer and then, sadly went on to pass away. These songs really show, of course, the sadness, but all of the other confusing and sometimes ugly feelings that could come along with grieving someone you love. One of those feelings, which many people I'm sure can relate to, is anger. This album paints grieving in a really honest way and like a full spectrum way. I don't know how to explain it. It's not just you and that one person that you're grieving. It's what you're going through internally and how that's affecting your relationships, your love life, how it affects your career, your friends, your family. It really spills into everything. Grieving, as we all know, is different for everybody and it's very unique. So this album may not resonate the same way with you as it does with me, but I felt like it was so vulnerable, and I really appreciate that in music. So I Want to Disappear by The Story So Far is my most played, my personal favorite album. But if I had to take a step back and ask myself, again, a know-nothing nobody, what I thought, so it doesn't really mean anything, but what I thought from top to bottom, objectively, is the best album of the year. Hands down, easily, it's Bring Me the Horizon's Posthuman Next Gen. I've been sitting here trying to figure out how to even describe Bring Me the Horizon as a band. They have lived a million lives musically. Rock, I guess that's what you could say. I mean, that's like saying someone makes music. Rock is so annoyingly generalized, so that does nothing to help describe them. I know this album is certainly not universally loved. I don't quite understand why, but opinions are opinions. That's totally fine. I saw people claiming that this was an entirely new direction for Bring Me the Horizon and that it was shocking and totally different. I've been a fan of Bring Me the Horizon since Pray for Plagues, which is a totally different sound than what they're making now, for sure. But I've listened to every Bring Me the Horizon album since. I've liked every single one of them. And this style that's in Posthuman Next Gen, I've heard inklings and whispers of that since That's the Spirit. Even some of the songs off Sempiternal didn't really feel that different. I feel like it's been a pretty smooth evolution for Bring Me the Horizon and their sound. Again, I don't really know anything, so I could be totally off. If you're just jumping in after Suicide Season, then yeah, I could understand the confusion for sure, but if you've been listening the entire time and keeping up with their music, it shouldn't feel like that big of a change. NA is my favorite song. The whole album feels like I'm in an arcade in the year 3000. I don't know how to eloquently explain that, but that's what it is. That is the end of my longer than expected, which I already expected it to be long, that's why I'm sitting here, list of favorites of 2024. If you made it this far, I want to apologize for my gift and curse of the gab because you seem to be okay with it. I hope you had a great holiday or are continuing to have a great holiday, and I hope you have a safe and happy New Year's.